Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Even Keel Fish Shack, now with 2 locations, Lauderdale by the Sea and the new spot on Las Olas.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And we are outside near the beach, the breezy, beautiful place to be. It's Lauderdale by the Sea.
There you go.
Even Keel Fish Shack, one of our favorite stops on the Lunchbox tour, just as the Masters at Augusta National. Should we speak in quiet,
I can't believe it. You know
tones?
what, Mayo? I got a little bit of Mayo jealousy earlier this morning. Not really jealousy, but I was happy for you.
Why? What did I do?
Because you said that this is like the 89th Masters, and you mentioned yesterday on the show that you've been to 13 of them.
13.
Isn't that crazy?
So think about
13.
that. That's a significant
I think almost a
percentage of
quarter.
the all-time Masters. And
Yep.
I'm looking at this, and I've been in sports my whole life, and I love the whole scene, the smell of it, and everything, the sounds, the ambient sound. I really wanted to be in this. I have to go to this atmosphere before I check out. And I would imagine, I don't know, were you ready for it the first time? Because you like golf also, which is good.
Actually, it's funny. The first Masters I ever covered was in 1989, but it was not for the Sun Sentinel. At that point, I was a
with some
Cub-
cheesy newspaper in
South
Charleston.
Cub
Carolina.
reporter in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
My first wife's hometown, Jesse's mother.
That's so
and
funny.
it's up in the western corner of South Carolina, but it's a very easy drive across the state line. Only about a 90-minute, maybe 2-hour drive to Augusta National. I covered it for the Spartanburg Herald Journal,
Nice.
and it was the year where Scott Hoke, rhymes with choke, missed like a 3-foot putt to
Well,
win.
that's a shame. He was a good player, too.
And that was Nick Faldo ended up winning. I believe it was, I don't know, was that the second of his back-to-back or the first of his back? But Nick Faldo won and was insufferable at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, before he
Faldo?
became Faldo was a very
Is he not
smug,
a good guy?
No, he became a good guy.
He
It's
seems like
funny.
a good guy to me.
It's funny how in golf, more than other sports, it seems like people can start off as real pricks and then kind of
Come back to the pack.
come back and become like nicer, normal
Unless
people.
you're Raymond Floyd.
Raymond Floyd. Well,
Devo was
don't
not
get
a
me
fan.
started. I have my Raymond
Oh, you
Floyd.
do too,
I
because
have
Devo
plenty
has
of Floyd
stories.
stories.
Devo
But
has
no,
stories.
he called me to the clean. I got called into the general manager's office at Augusta National to get a just absolute tongue lashing
Really?
reaming from Raymond
From
Floyd.
Ray Floyd?
I've told this story.
No,
I know.
before.
You know what? It's worth telling
You
again.
can tell us
Because
the
you know what?
story.
If you have a great master story, it's like, I don't care that you ate an egg
Okay.
salad sandwich.
Yeah, that's
I want to
great.
hear how you got reamed out by Raymond
All
Floyd.
right, let me just set
At
the
I
the
didn't know
stage.
that. I didn't know that.
Okay, so first of all, it is Masters Thursday. It's
It
a
is,
beautiful day here
Yeah, the
in
weather's
South Florida.
amazing.
We are at Even
It was
Keel Fish
gross.
Shack.
It was rainy and dark. It's
It
beautiful out here.
is, the sun is out. We are on the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard. Come on out here. We've got Brad is not here today. Brad has been manning the fort at their Las Olas Fort Lauderdale
hope he's doing
location.
How's
We've
that
got-
going? Is it going better?
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
he's good. And you know what? Brad's been there for about a month, and he's added some
Oh, really?
sushi rolls. And Dave Mack, who we love, Dave
Yeah, we love
McLennan,
Dave.
local boy. He went to where
You
did
love
he
him
go?
because he was cutting checks.
He went to
Oh, that's
Cardinal
enough.
Gaming. No,
Did
we
you
got to
see
find
this
that.
guy hovering back there?
Fort Lauderdale High, Stranahan High. He's a local boy,
Nice.
done good, and he's worked with
That's great.
Chef Dean James Max, and then they started this place, and it's going to be great. We're going to have Dave on the show in a second.
You know what's cool? I have to say this because this always strikes me. Even Keel is a great stop for me because it's right down the street. It was excellent. I enjoyed the weather on my walk of life. It was overcast, and now look at this. It's clearing up. It's beautiful. But there's a shot that you guys have on the ad for Even Keel of some scallops.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you know. Because these guys are great when it comes to sauces and different treatments and ingredients. I always love hearing Brad talk about where he gets the ingredients from. But these scallops, which I'm a big fan of, I don't know, Mike Mayo, Do you know the picture I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're these big,
When-
Now, how
beautiful.
are they done?
When Brad did the was like a pumpkin puree kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
looks
does all
great.
kinds of
I mean,
different
like,
setups
great.
with a parsnip puree. Sometimes it's a pumpkin. But they get these big, what they call the diver
They're nuts.
scallops.
They're like
And
huge.
They're
delicious.
huge. They
Wow,
usually
yeah.
come from Massachusetts. The water's off of Cape Cod, New Bedford
Are
scallops.
you becoming a convertee
Of
to the
what?
scallops? I mean, I know you might have even ordered some at Tropical Acres. Is that
I've
possible?
ordered scallops many places,
Oh, okay.
and funny you should mention the acres. I'm having a great day today, because I got blood work done and the numbers are good. I won't go into it just yet. We'll go into
No,
the full
you should go
breakdown.
into
later.
heavy
Yeah,
detail
yeah,
right
no,
now.
no,
mean,
I-
We've
you
got
had a
so
good
many
conversation
things.
going. Let's hear about
But
your
then
blood work.
here for Keel, and then tonight, me and Val were meeting a cousin of mine who's in town from New York. He's a poker player. We're going to
Nice.
go for the happy hour dinner at Tropical Acres, and then we're going to go right to the Hard Rock and play a poker tournament
nice.
there. And they got a nice little $150 buy-in tournament. No harm, no foul.
You're living a dream. Yeah.
And but to get to the scallops, I love the big, they have the little kind of the smaller ones. There's bay scallops, which are like the mini ones. Then there's the medium ones, which are like
I'm
kind of
into
the
big
regular,
ones, yeah. I
the
like the big
regular sea scallops. But the ones they have here are the diver scallops.
Yeah.
And those are like, you just have 3 of them and it's a meal, and they're beautiful, and they got great product here.
You
from
want a little
New Bedford.
substance when you're ordering scallops,
Yes.
or I know we're going to feature the mussels here today, and I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of mussels.
Man, you do like
I
this.
wasn't for the longest time. This was under the
I was at the
category.
gym this morning too, and I'm trying to get my
You,
muscles.
I mean, it's a
There you
vital
go.
transformation going on here. It's the old John McLaughlin
MUSCLES.
song. But
Monday is
in terms
muscle.
of mussels,
Yeah.
I that was one of those foods that, like, you'll see on Let's Eat South Florida every now and then. Somebody will say, "Hey, give me a food that grossed you out as a child,
Right.
that you now are a giant fan
Yeah.
of."
Right. And
Mussels would be one of those things,
They
and
do.
I like them almost any style.
They're doing like a thing on Monday, right?
Marinara with white wine sauce, garlic. I mean, any
at
style.
both locations of Even Keel, here and on Las Olas Boulevard, they have what they call Muscle Mondays, Muscle
Nice.
Madness on Mondays, where it's all you can eat
Mussels
mussels.
marinara.
Muscle. Well, it's not in
I
a
don't know if they're
marinara
marinara.
sauce. Here they do it in the classic style. It's kind of in a white wine
White
sauce.
wine, right.
We'll get the details from Dave, but it's pay one price and eat as many mussels as you can, which
That's
is
great.
the quality of the mussels. These are one of the food items that you mentioned. I started off hating them in life. I don't eat them a lot, but when I do, like up in Corvina with our friend Eddie,
Yep.
and
And
then
here.
down here,
I imagine Runway for years was having
Runway.
that as a free appetizer.
that was the mussels marinara.
Yeah.
That was kind of, they use the skinny mussels from I don't know what state, but those can be sometimes a little
They're
bit
small, right?
chewy and a little bit gritty.
The
Now-
weird ones were the ones that looked like they were on Barry Bonds, Balco Lab steroids.
Well, they have the
and they stuck to the shell, and it was like
Some
they
of
were
those-
giant. They were the size of this cell phone.
there are giant mussels, and they
weren't
are
very
steroids.
good. They weren't very good.
Sometimes those come from like
Yeah.
Australia and the
Have you?
Asian
Are you a
markets.
mussels guy, Louie? You're not a mussels guy.
I don't love them. I do like them, especially when they're done in a nice sauce.
And the ones they use here come from Prince Edward Island, the
Those
same
are like
place
the
that
nice-
our favorite Panthers
the place,
coach Doug McLean
Yeah, McLean.
was from Prince Edward Island.
and
The
half of the NHL.
The
Come on.
PEI mussel. Now PEI is a small place, Canada they came from, but
Half
PEI
half of the players. come from
Halifax. I don't know, but that's Nova Scotia. PEI is what's it? What's the capital of PEI? Edwardtown or something
Oh,
like
good.
that.
Why would I know?
How
that?
did I
It's so
get
funny.
here?
You
I don't
always
know
get into
anything
these
about Canada.
quantifiers. I mean, it's so weird.
PEI mussels are
Yes.
served here.
Yes.
The other mussels that are getting more popular, and we're going to talk with Dave about this, and they might have to go to them because they're going to be domestic versus Canadian. But as I understand it, Canadian food products are not going to be tariffed. But who knows?
Yes.
Every hour it's something different. But the pemaquid mussels, which is a farm,
Is anybody
mussel
making
from
money
Maine.
off all of these changes?
Do you think so? Maybe not.
I think
So a Maine mussel.
not
well,
Maine.
Martha Stewart should be pardoned. No, I mean,
I think Martha
she's
Stewart's
still.
No,
think
every
she's-
day. I mean, 2 people probably got to wake up. Number 1, Martha Stewart. Number 2, the former sheriff here in Broward County, Ken Jenny, who actually went away to a federal prison for like a little over a year
Insider
for
trading?
for
Yeah.
rinky-dink stuff. No, but they got him on all kinds of. But it's like he must look at what's going on up in the White House. I
Oh,
ran
my
into him
God,
the
are
other
you kidding?
day,
Yeah.
and also Martha Stewart must look at what's going on. It's like,
Yeah.
how did
they
they get
insider
me?
trading
How did
stuff?
I go?
How did I end up in jail? Hey, look, it was under federal indictment myself. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like, wait, how did I get here?
Like he
Yeah,
literally
but at
did.
least
He's doing insider trading with the economy of America, and these people are like, "How did you get me for insider trading?"
it's
Like if he's not doing
unbelievable.
insider trading, who's doing insider trading?
Okay,
All right.
tomorrow we're switching everything.
All right, it's time for the Ray Floyd story.
Yes, I
yeah,
was
what
over
happened
here.
with it?
So this
You
we're
were
going-
talking muscles. I mean, you cover a lot
I've been
of ground.
all over the place.
You are.
Yeah,
I'm all over
is
the
it the
place.
gummies? Well, what is it?
No, I
haven't
haven't
he's not
started
gummy
my
yet.
because
gummy
with less
Thursday.
weight, you tend to get people
He
would
gets
always
less
tell you this
focus,
like when
yeah.
you
I
first
get a
started.
little dizzy.
When you first started smoking weed, though, they would say, "Don't eat that whole pizza, DeForest,
Yeah.
because
Right.
it'll kill the bugs."
It does.
That's
Yeah.
the
It
It makes you
problem with.
tired. Yeah.
So I'm what's known as California sober now. Now that I have my medical card, I'm
You're doing
basically
less
not
alcohol,
doing
more weed.
alcohol
I
because
was
it
very
doesn't agree
resentful,
with
though.
me.
And Ron DeSantis, bleep you. I had to renew the card the other day
Yeah, it's expensive.
after
That's why I
another
won't get
7
it.
months for what?
It's
For
annoying.
what?
It's
Ronnie?
a money grab. But
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's annoying.
wait. So the renewal is every 7 months.
7
Yes,
months.
yes,
Wait,
yes.
Like,
no,
who
wait.
determined that period of
No,
time?
actually, I think it's the other way around. I think the car renewal is every year, but you got to go to the doctor every 7 months. Or is it
Like,
the other
who
way
wants to
around?
schlep all the way? There's one doctor that does this, and he's like at the
don't
edge
know
of
any
the
doctors
Everglades.
And why wouldn't they make it the same? It's like purposely to confuse all the stoners
Yeah,
out there
yes.
because
And
it
what-
should be if the
Make it
card
every
is good
year.
for a
Yeah,
year,
make it a year.
then it should be the doctor's visit should be once a year.
Well,
But
yeah.
instead, it's
well,
like
does this guy need to see
They
you to
just
go?
wanna screw you.
Okay, yeah, you can
Not
get
that you're
stoned.
If you had anxiety then, it didn't go away in the
now
last.
I got to look at this. When does this expire? Can I
Whatever
have it?
anxiety
pictures
you
I
had.
have.
That's on my
2000
driver's license.
November 7th,
Okay,
2025.
so the card that you get
Let me see now.
is good for a year, but you have to get reauthorized with your prescription.
Look at
at
that,
the
look at that
doctor.
picture. What picture is that? From
It's-
1980.
it's
That's
the-
from the
it's
It's in
Raymond
the
Floyd
state
one.
files. It's the same one that's on my driver's
Did you go
license
into one of those
photo.
photo
Back
booths?
when you
One
were
of
in
those
South
clown
Carolina.
photo booths?
This
and
is
get
the
a picture
funny part
taken?
because it's a state license. They just pull your
They just copy
driver's
it.
license photo
Oh, yeah?
out of the
Oh,
state
okay.
system, and it's the same
When
photo.
did you get that? In like 1997?
When you're in South Carolina. that's
This
what that
was no. This was actually from the. You
It
know what?
says Spartanburg
I'm
on
so
it.
Yeah,
off track
exactly.
here.
Anyways, so Raymond Floyd was
Raymond
this in your
Floyd, yeah.
earlier
What did he
days,
do?
or
What
was
did he
this when
say
were
to
in
you,
the Sentinel?
Mayo? I mean,
I'm confused.
I got this by Raymond Floyd, and I'll give you a quick story, and then you should definitely give us the details on this. But there was a requirement. We were the flagship station for Doral Open for many years, whatever radio station I was at the time. It was probably like WIOD or something, a very significant station in the broadcast industry down here. And it was an obligation of the winner of the tournament to stop by the local radio station that was sponsoring the tournament and at least say, well, it was a great tournament. I got to compliment Freddie Couples on the
Greens
too
were
bad he
firm.
shanked that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. You're going to get nothing out of the guy. You don't even care, but it's
Right.
Ray Floyd. Blew us off because he made assertions that he hates sports talk radio
Okay.
as he blew by us. Freddie Couples, who lost on a heartbreaker on 18, he put his ball on the right side on the
Right.
blue monster behind the tree, ended up bogey in the hole. Floyd wins the tournament. He sits down with me for an hour while Raymond Floyd refused to do the obligatory.
yeah,
He had an obligation. It would be like Popovich blowing off one of the sideline
I
reporters.
wish he would have.
Blew by us, made a face on top of that man. So, and Shula loved the guy, and he has a great distinction in golf, but I don't know. It's not like I never got over that, but I always think like, well, what a schmink, you know?
Didn't Raymond Floyd win the Masters twice? I
Well,
think.
Floyd probably did. I mean,
I
look,
think
he was a
he's a
great
great
player.
golfer.
There's
He's
no
won a
question
couple
about
of
it.
majors. He won
And
his
he was
share
good
of
when he was
tours.
old too. I mean,
He
was
just-
good.
Wasn't he a South Florida
He
guy?
could be-
Like
he
down
was-
here for years?
Let's say he was a little full of himself, and he could be a little bit
Well, you know what?
cantankerous.
He
but let
did
me-
have one of the great sports quotes of all time, which was when the senior tour first came around, and he turned what? Is it 50? I think
50
is the
at
age?
the time.
Okay.
Yeah, 50.
So he said, yesterday I was a has-been, and today I'm the rookie of the year.
Mhm.
And that was his line about going on the senior tour, which he was good on for some time.
Yeah, I remember. I think he made his senior tour debut, and I covered that for the Sun Sentinel. It was down at like Key Biscayne.
But what's
with
great about
the
this
Royal
story
Caribbean.
that's about to come up is he hates the guy.
No, I don't hate anybody. Hate is a very strong emotion. It's useless. He hates me, or
Probably not your biggest fan. Let's put it that way.
and he was buddies with Schuler, and I think he got the intel from Schuler about
Shula was
what
not a big fan
what a
of yours
schmuck
either,
I
yeah.
was, and what a
What
just-
were
So
you
when
doing
was
to
this?
people?
Like,
Yeah.
Okay,
were you down
so-
here at least?
It was
okay.
like
established?
1990 or something.
I'm gonna say this was probably in the early 92 to 95. All right, here's what happened. Raymond Floyd is out on the course and he's shooting, just like a average 2-under round. It was nothing spectacular, but in the middle of his round, unbeknownst to him, somebody had come into the press room after shooting a low number and made an allegation that Raymond Floyd cheated at Doral a few weeks earlier.
Oh no!
Which you probably did.
I don't want to cast any aspersions. All I know is this one player, I forget the particulars, but
It was
basically
Andy
said
Bean, man. No, I don't know. Who ratted him out?
basically said that at Doral a few weeks earlier, he saw Raymond do something a little untoward, like moving a ball or something in a sand trap, moving something that maybe shouldn't have been moved according to the world rules of golf.
There was an old like Trojan, bag there. And he
Basically,
moved it out of the
Like a
way.
condom.
Now, I don't know. I don't know if Floyd had won it around that year or he had a top finish, but basically, this
He
other,
was great at the
other
round.
player accused him
Yeah.
of cheating, and it caused a big stir.
And you brought it
And
up.
then everybody was like, "Okay, it was
You brought it up as he was getting his
a
master's check.
scrum of reporters." Then, as Raymond is finishing his round at the 18th hole, a bunch of reporters go out to, obviously, we have to ask him about it and get
that's
his
fair.
reaction and his side of the story.
Was
That's
Steve
what
Hummer there? Also?
Hummer was probably
Hummer
there.
was there. Was he
Yeah.
wearing the flood pants?
I don't know.
No,
He was wearing like the checkered
no, but his pants were always
lumberjack
like a
shirt.
couple of inches short.
Yeah, no, Steve Hummer, a very tall guy. He
Good
used to get
guy,
the
though.
sun
Good
center.
guy.
Stop
Great
distracting me. All right, so
Just
we've
go.
got
Just plow through.
he gets off the 18th green. He sees this scrum. You know, a lot of times at Augusta, if you don't shoot a very low number, reporters will
They'll
talk
leave
to you.
you,
They don't
yeah.
bring you into the press room for a full formal
Yeah,
interview.
yeah.
But he comes off the green. He sees this thing and he says, "Oh, I should," and he starts talking about his round.
Yeah,
A couple of
we were
people
playing
lob him
fine.
some softballs about your round of 70. And then who does it fall on to ask the hard question and do the heavy
Oh, good.
lifting?
No one was doing it. No
me.
one.
Me.
It didn't,
I have to.
it didn't
But
have to
I have
fall
that
on you.
reputation. Everybody's
Oh.
like, "Oh, Mayo, you're going to ask it, right?" And I just look at him and I say, "So Raymond, just
What about the fact you moved your ball in a sand trap at 16
You
at the round?
scumbag.
I was like,
You scumbag.
I channeled my inner Al Lombardo.
Oh,
and there's
no.
an inside joke.
He's the
No,
worst.
no.
No.
He's the
And I
worst.
said, Raymond,
Oh no.
I have to ask because just a couple
You
of hours.
preface it with all that? No,
I
you
have
didn't.
to ask.
Yeah.
He for sure
You
did.
did?
You know he did.
I said, but just a couple of
What about
hours,
this
just a
trap?
couple of minutes
Yeah.
ago, so and so kind of made an allegation and said that basically at Doral you did something lift clean in place when you really shouldn't have.
All right.
And he turned beet red
No,
No,
and he
no.
says, "I'm not going to talk. Who said what?" And he just like
What's your name?
he just
Mayo?
well he knew who I was.
Oh, he did. You probably had written many flattering articles
No,
about what a
because he
brilliant
was a
golfer he
local and I'd
Yeah.
been
Maybe a South
around.
Florida guy. Yeah, like
I'm a
he was here
South
for years.
back, everybody knew all the local.
Yeah, it
writers.
was here.
But he glared at me. He basically issued a like 3-word expletive-filled denial
How'd you feel?
and walked off. Right, and I thought,
but
all right,
you kind of love that stuff.
no,
He
but
definitely
that's not
loves
the end of
He
it.
definitely loves it.
I go back to the press room, and all of us are at our computers.
Were people congratulating you
We're
on
typing.
being the guy?
No, it's not going to.
No,
It was
this
just
is their
this
job.
is what reporters do. Sometimes you got to
It
bring up
wasn't
stuff.
unfair to ask, huh?
So I'm sitting at my computer at
cubicle,
that
yeah.
point, typing up some early notes and writing up this story as an early separate story because you got to get stuff in, early before
There's
all the
deadlines,
action
yeah.
unfolds.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, over
Plus,
the
it took like 2 months to transmit the story
No.
from where the location was.
all of a sudden over the PA system at the Augusta National Press Room, and this was a big facility.
Yeah.
Michael Mayo, can you please report down to the press
Oh,
desk?
nice. Wow.
Michael Mayo from the Sun
Oh,
Sentinel,
no.
please come to
Oh,
the press
no.
And
desk.
it wasn't because
It's
they
like-
wanted to give you a cheese
like the
sandwich.
principal's office.
And it's time for the obligatory siren.
There's always a silence.
Coming
That's okay,
from
man.
Water Up by
Sirens
the
had to be
Sea.
going off in your head
There's always a
at that
silence.
time.
That was what Raymond Floyd
Yeah,
sounded
exactly.
like.
But
after-
he was
Wait,
he was a known jerk anyway.
So
yeah.
so I get paged to the front, and it's the press officer who's in charge, Glenn. What's his name? Glenn Greenbaum. He was a local guy here. He
Zero
originally-
significance.
zero significance. But
Yeah.
he said, Michael, you need to go to the general manager's office now,
Oh.
up in the cabin.
What if they stripped you of your credentials?
Raymond-
How
In the
embarrassing.
cabin.
Raymond
Cabin.
Floyd wanted to have a word
To
with you.
Butler Cabin?
You like cattle
Not
told.
Butler Cabin, but in the main clubhouse,
You
in
like
the
cattle
in the main
told.
office.
I
There
hate
is
getting called in a
The
car.
general
good.
manager, I don't know, his name was Ron Johnson or something, but there's a secretary, and I said,
Where was Hootie?
I'm a
He wasn't around.
report-
No, was
Hootie, I
Hootie the
don't-
guy then?
Hootie was not in there, but the general manager stepped out, and basically the secretary says, "Oh yeah, Mr. Floyd is in there waiting." for you."
No.
Oh,
And I go
waiting
there,
for you.
No.
And he just like, you ever get a ripping by Shula where he just like the red face and the jaw
Devo
is
probably
out?
didn't.
He-
Sure, I like Devo.
He was
You did.
Raymond
Oh,
Floyd.
I had Shula. Shula was good with me, but there were a couple of times I was in that situation a little bit. Not quite like this. I mean,
well, Raymond Floyd was channeling his inner Shula. His jawline was
Oh,
giant. There was steam coming out of his ears, and he goes, what the fuck? He's like, how dare you accuse me of cheating?
But
What
you weren't
was
accusing
that?
him, right?
Blah,
Like
blah, blah. And I was like,
So he
Raymond,
didn't hear the
I
accusation.
said,
is what
I
it was?
didn't accuse you of cheating. I was getting a response to somebody, a player said this. He goes, well, I just walk off the course. I was like, yeah, and didn't you see all these people? You think we were all out there because you shot a freaking 70?
Oh, listen to you. Wow.
They were waiting for me to ask that ridiculous question.
So
And
was
I
that,
said
that,
they
that
were
was your
waiting-
last Masters?
And I said, we just needed to get your comment. I said, look,
So
I
you
don't know
didn't
what
do it.
happened at Augusta, at Doral. I'm not saying you're a cheater. I said, but as a reporter, we had obligations to get your side of the story and get your response. And he just like, this wasn't the time and place, and how
Well,
could you
where's the
do
time
it?
and
And I'm just
place?
coming off the course and blah, blah, blah. And I explained to him, hey, he made the allegation. When would you like me to do it? 3 weeks
Oh,
down the
listen
Yeah,
to
road?
you, man.
come
You're always
on.
Mr. Tough Guy.
Oh, no, for
So-
sure. No,
so-
he wanted
I'm
to be a New
surprised
York
you didn't
reporter.
get planted
But-
into a garbage can.
No,
somewhere. I really don't
look, you know me. I can hold
You're
my
not
ground.
diplomatic. No, you're not.
I'm not
diplomatic.
just going to
He
be a
just doesn't
shrinking
care. He
violet.
just doesn't care.
And
He
I,
just
but,
No,
you
no,
know,
you love it. You love being the agent provocateur. You
well,
love it.
100%.
I don't shoot the messenger. I was just asking the question, but
No, but I'll vouch for you on this
the-
one.
the-
Ray Floyd was rhymes with Rick.
right. Needless to
Oh,
say,
look out! Speaking of which,
he
we
never
needed some
spoke
grub,
to me
man.
again. All right, oops.
Take a break,
Let's-
Mayo. I mean,
There
let's
we
get
go.
into
We
some
got
food here.
We got that. We got mussels in the hizzle. We got Dave Mack coming in board.
Oh,
Let's take
beautiful.
our first break.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
do something. Yeah.
with all these
Oh,
talk
the fish
about,
and chips
but
always. classic.
bottom line
Yeah.
is,
Oh, thank you.
Raymond Floyd and I were not really big chums either before or after that. And he had one more story to go back to with Dom Schuler and said,
I'm
Well,
sure
this
he ran
Mayo
to
jerk.
Might be the best fries in South
That's it.
Florida.
The fries are fantastic.
All good. All right, let's take our first break at Even Keel Fish Shack, and then we'll come back with some good food and some good talk with Dave McLennan, the chef owner here at Even Keel Fish Shack, Lauderdale by the Sea. After these words. Looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, Even Keel Fish Shack. Okay, we've concluded the bashing Raymond Floyd Masters portion of the broadcast. We are now
That was a good story,
to the
though. I
food
mean,
and fun.
I always love it when you're in the jackpot.
So, we can reboot an old sitcom, but we'll have a new name. Everybody Hates Raymond. So
I got to say this.
Yeah.
I was looking at some pictures of a friend of ours, a radio brother, Mark Hockman. He was in London. He's got fish and chips in front of him.
Hawk. Yep.
And I'm thinking, I bet if you went to the Even Keel Fish Shack, their fish and chips, which we've been raving about since we first came in, probably better than you get in London.
Oh, yeah.
And that's saying a lot. I mean, think about
Appreciate
that.
that.
People are always asking, hey, where can I get the best this, the best that? Let's eat South Florida. I'm going to say, without any hesitation, these are probably the best in the city. No?
Oh, well, we're going to reintroduce. Yes, that's, again, my favorite fish and chips in town. One of the best I've had anywhere. And we welcome back to the Lunchbox. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been
The
a couple of months.
chef owner, Dave McLennan, and he's been kind of based here back at the mothership for a little bit.
Yep.
And thank you for having us out. Thank you for
Appreciate
the
it,
fish and chips.
yeah.
Wow.
And you also brought out mussels, which we have not featured here
Yeah,
in
it's
a
been a
while.
while. Yeah.
And
Tell us
those are
about-
dynamite, too.
These
Yeah.
are great.
So
Tell us a
yeah.
little bit about
Sorry, I mean
the
to get that
Mussel
on you.
Monday and what this broth is, because
Yeah.
it has spice, it has flavor. It's so good.
We've tried a million different ways of doing mussels over the years, and this has just been the we can never top this one, no matter what we do. Putting chorizo or meat or anything else in it, and coconut milk. This has just always been the one that we end up coming back to. So it's ginger, lemongrass, sambal, white wine, and a lot a butter. And it's
Freaking
got
great.
everything. It's got that.
Got that Asian
brightness,
influence,
yeah.
and it's got the spice with the sambal, which
Yeah.
is great. And I just
And the mussels are very, very tasty and
Yeah.
tender and just absolutely perfect with the sauce.
so
And
what
then
happens on Mondays? Yeah.
Mondays, that's all you can eat mussels. We call
All you can eat?
Yeah, so we call it Monday Mussel Madness. So,
It is madness.
It
And
is.
what does that run? I mean,
same price as a
No.
regular bowl the rest of the week, so it's
Get outta here.
$19.
Really?
19
Yeah.
bucks for
Yeah.
all you can
can
eat.
eat?
Oh, God.
What's the record?
I
does
think
anybody get
6 or
past
7.
one bowl?
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do.
They have
We get,
bowls?
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And she was like a little old lady.
Yeah.
She had 6 bowls one day. She's like,
Oh, my God.
I was
No,
like,
really?
I'm gonna eat you out of mussels.
You sure
Yeah,
she
you
wasn't
did.
lining her pockets
Yeah, I
with the
don't know.
Ziploc bags?
Maybe.
Or,
Yeah,
Maybe.
did you check her on the way out?
I should have. I didn't.
From Century.
well, that's a great deal.
I was
You know,
busy cooking the mussels.
She got on the
couldn't watch
Century
her.
Village bus and went all the way
Yeah,
back to
exactly.
Hollywood.
did she have some sweet and low stashed? Yeah, no.
It took everything. The
We were
ketchup,
missing a couple of salt and pepper shakers after that.
Exactly.
a couple of glasses were short.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you reminded me about that because we're so busy. Look, I'm a food snob. I
Yeah.
love my oysters. I love these, premium East Coast oysters,
Yeah,
also
Me
from
too.
parts north and Massachusetts
The colder the better.
and Prince Edward Island. But that's on Tuesday. You have the unlimited all day $2 oysters
Yep.
on Tuesdays, and it's also during happy hour every weekday
Right.
from 4 to 7.
Jeez.
And which is a great deal because
It is.
some places now are charging $48 a dozen.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
really? On oysters?
Yeah. They're
Wow.
well. I mean,
What
as price goes up,
Tariffs?
Yeah.
everything goes up.
Yeah, and
Are they
yeah,
coming from
hopefully not yet.
Greenland? Where are these
Yeah.
oysters coming from?
But hopefully not.
but
Yeah.
mussels have been always kind of like the poor redheaded stepchild that people don't eat them as much, and they're not as much of a premium item. But
Yeah.
they're delicious now.
They're
And these are
creeping up, too.
PEIs, right?
These are PI. Yeah. So
Which
they're
is
they. I mean, I remember years ago we would get they were $2 a pound, and now they're they're
more than
four.
that.
Yeah, $4.99 a pound now.
right.
Well, as with everything else, you watch everything else go up.
But still a good bargain because you're eating
Yeah.
like you're going in a chair, and at the same time, you're not overwhelmingly
you're
filling up.
never going to feel like
Yeah.
gross after eating it.
Yeah, it's always good.
Now
We
when
try
you-
to throw a piece of bread on for every order just to kind of
I would say
people down.
You notice that was
on
the
that-
first thing
I was
Mayo
gonna
went to.
ask-
Yeah.
I was going to ask you because
Yeah.
first of all, it's like a Texas toast.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely delicious
Yeah.
to dunk it in
It's
the
actually
broth.
it's actually like their challah bread.
All right.
We have it cut.
We got to get those last pieces of bread in before Passover starts
There
and
you
the
go.
matzahs start hitting us on Saturday night. That's
Yeah.
me and Lubie.
This would
Wow.
go well with matzah.
So that's challah. That's really challah.
Yeah.
I
So
would
this is
never know.
a
That's
there's a
fantastic.
kosher bakery in Miami that we use there. So it's
I
it's
thought it
really
was
good.
Texas toast, but it's
We
great.
just haven't cut it
Beautiful.
that way.
Yeah.
Like
I'm-
nobody else will like even the Texas toast that you get
Eggy.
from any other place is they never cut it thick enough. Like,
Right,
we need
but-
it cut thick for.
And this
what
is
we're doing.
now that you mentioned eggy and a little bit sweet. It's challah and it's beautiful.
That's great.
As a requirement on Muscle Monday Madness, do you make everybody eat all the bread before they can get the next bowl?
we don't. I mean,
Send them in a
Maybe
salad
you
bar.
should.
Yeah.
You should put in some new rules. Now that
Yeah.
would be if I ran a
the
restaurant.
only
that's
rule
what
we
I
have,
would do.
the only rule we
Last
have is that it's not a shareable item.
Right.
That's-
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you get the people that come in and
These are
Oh, you're
fantastic,
working
though,
it.
and
Yeah.
a little bit spicy too.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
kinda
that's
nice.
the sambal, which is
Yeah.
a was it like a
Nice.
Philippine or Asian?
it's
condiment?
it's a chili paste. So
Chili
Very nice. Yeah.
So
Wow.
the reason we like to use sambal, like it's the basis of sriracha. You start with sambal, and then
Right.
the sriracha they do like sun dried. They have garlic and stuff and
Yep.
spices that they add to it. This is just the chili paste. So as a chef, we don't want to use sambal sometimes because you're incorporating other spices and
Mayo,
and-
I
and,
think I could eat a
garlic.
couple of hundred of these.
No,
I
these
really
are-
do, yeah.
yeah.
And you know the
You're
other
in trouble,
little,
Dave.
the little refinements that you get here at Even Keel that you don't see everywhere else.
Yeah.
You chop up the scallion, little diced slices
Yeah.
of scallions. The little what is it? The garlic,
we call it crispy shit. I don't know if
crispy.
we're allowed to say that.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, we
We're
call
not
it
on over
crispy
the
shit.
area. The little crispy balls of garlic or whatever, but it all just enhances the flavor. And you got the little. Is there little red pepper flakes also? Or is
That's part of the sambal.
That's part of the sambal
yeah.
sauce.
So when it goes
So-
in the broth, it is.
Don't sleep on the Muscle Monday Madness,
Yeah.
folks. 1999, including
Bread.
the Texas toast, challah, and all the mussels that you care
$20
to eat.
for all you can eat is a joke.
That's
It
insane.
It is unbelievably a good deal, and it's one of the things that you do here at Even Keel Fish Shack that
Yeah.
makes it such a beloved institution. And you've got obviously now the Fort Lauderdale, Las Olas location
Yep.
where Brad has been down there for a little bit.
Yeah, he's been there for about a month now, and just kind of freshening, giving ourselves a break, and
Yeah,
we'll-
it's kind of good to get a change of
Yeah,
scenery because you were
exactly.
down there for a while,
Yeah,
and now
over the
every,
summer.
every so often
You guys
need
have been
to
cranking up here, though. Every
Yeah.
time I blow by
Oh, yeah,
in
it's
the
been
evening,
great.
you guys are
Yeah.
doing good. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had great weather the past couple of months.
Yeah.
It's been really helpful, and
Yeah.
It was high season, spring
that's
break.
good for us, right? The positive weather is always a big thing
helps,
for us
yeah.
here. Yeah.
And-
Everybody down here in Lauderdale by the Sea, it's a walking. Same with Los Olas. That's kind of a big thing for us there too. We're in two locations that are fairly dependent on the weather. and-
Walkable, yeah, they're
Yeah.
very walkable
Yeah.
areas. Yeah.
Walkable areas, and of course the Las Olas one. It has that beautiful, patio area that lines the canal.
Yeah, very rare
And-
down there.
But the thing is, when the weather is a little bit inclement, that people want to be inside, and the
Yeah.
inside space there is limited. But
Yeah.
when it's
Bigger
nice
than
out,
bigger than here.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
No,
more-
it's a nice space.
Yeah.
The outside is fantastic.
Yeah.
and I hear Brad has been, playing around and putting some sushi on the menu.
Yeah.
Sushi rolls, he was telling me about. And
Yeah.
I guess, is that one of the requirements if you open a restaurant in Las Olas?
You
If
have
you're
to
an
have
Italian
sushi.
restaurant, you have to have chicken parm.
Yeah.
And if you're any other restaurant, you have to have sushi, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is down there. Everybody loves sushi. We started doing, I started a a crispy rice, like a salmon crispy rice.
Yeah,
that I
and
think
it's
you've had
very
down there.
good. Yeah.
So we, the idea was we kind of have the sushi rice already there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
another application for it. We can do it as kind of a
Well, that's
special, make limited amount each day, and then we sell out of.
That's at
whatever 10
1111
rolls.
East Las Olas Boulevard. Here is right at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard. You got to come down, check it out. Both of them have weekend brunches that are great. They have the
Yeah, the brunch
weekday
is fantastic.
happy hours. They've got the Monday Muscle Madness for $19.99. They got the Tuesday oysters all day, premium oysters for $2.
And you know what else? It's a
Right.
perfect hang.
Yeah.
As
good
you
people
go about your
watching.
business during the day,
Great
you hang
people
out here
watching.
like early in the afternoon. Absolutely fantastic hang.
You never know who you're going to see down here
Yeah.
too. We see, there's random celebrities all the time down here.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, like Defo.
You just when he comes down walking down the street, they're like,
Now,
got a
My
clear
favorite
path, clear
celebrity
path.
I've ever seen make an appearance in this area, I was up by the police station. They were saying they were having a big night. And don't miss, Chuck Wepner was making a personal appearance. The guy that
Oh,
fought
really?
Ali. Yeah, and I was thinking that they got the
again.
Bayonne bleeder.
it came out again.
Oh, you got tripped up.
we're playing musical headsets because
And the way you're doing
sometimes
it's
I
not-
can hear it now. Can
We
you
went
hear it?
Dave, yeah.
Yeah. It sometimes cuts in and out, but the equipment sometimes is temperamental. Even though we buy these new headsets, and still gets a little temperamental.
It's always a
Anyway,
mistake to get a new
Yeah.
headset. It really is.
but
The
as
one
you
that
were-
was in, like, when Marconi broke in,
Yeah.
that's the headset that you want. That's the one that's
So
gonna
wait,
work.
who was the celeb? Oh, what was it?
Oh, Chuck Wepner.
Oh, that's
Chuck
you call
Wepner,
that a celebrity?
Yeah, no, imagine that. That was a big thing. They were
I
having
call that a human
autograph
punching
signing.
bag.
Yeah.
All right, can I get into one semi-serious topic for
Oh,
a
boy.
restaurateur now? We were talking about it
Yeah,
before, just because you use mussels from Prince Edward Island. You get a lot of products from our neighbors to the north in Canada, and some other products that come from other countries. This whole tariff business, the way I understand it is that Canadian and Mexican food products and beverage products are exempt from the tariffs, and even though they've been paused for 90 days, what do you understand is going on? And are you looking for other outlets and sources of these mussels? Because I understand there's some that's in Maine that's pretty good.
Maine mussels are great. We haven't yet, to be honest. It's kind of waiting to see. I've asked a couple of my vendors, just keep us updated if you see anything.
There's nothing like a clear-cut set of policies.
Yeah, it is. It
Clearly
is
defined. We all know what's happening.
Right.
It's as a
Certainty
seafood
for the future.
restaurant.
Yeah.
There's in general, we import a lot of seafood in this country, more than we consume.
Right.
And people don't think about that a lot of times,
But you use so much local stuff,
we
and
do.
that's
we do. We try to as much as possible.
Exhibit A being
mahi.
the fish and chips.
Yeah.
You use the mahi. I got to.
The problem is with that, even if we use local, like the local guys are going to charge more when the price.
Oh,
when the
yeah,
price
This is
goes up.
called okay.
So-
I spent a semester at the London School of Economics. I didn't learn very much because I spent most of the time in the pubs
Yeah.
drinking. But what I learned is this: that when prices go up on other products artificially,
Yeah.
and then the alternative is priced way lower.
Yeah.
The people who have the price way lower here will usually bring the price up
Yeah.
to just about here, so
Yep.
it's still a viable alternative
Right.
to that.
Well,
But the price still goes
supply
up
and
on
demand.
everything. Yeah, and it's a basic economic principle that
if we could charge $100 a lobster roll, I would.
Yeah, yeah. Be nice.
well, we're getting to the
It would.
point,
It's-
unfortunately, where a lot
I'm
of the
like getting
seafood,
scared.
even domestically, like
Yeah.
the stuff from the lobsters from Maine and
Yeah.
and the scallops, the beautiful scallops. I understand they were spiking high
scallops
during the
are-
winter.
They're crazy higher.
and
Yeah, they still
hopefully-
are.
They still are.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Well,
and this is the challenge.
Yeah.
Defo, he used to joke on his show that the two scariest words in the English language, there's actually two of them, two sets of words. One is I do, and the other one is market price. And it's
Yeah.
like at a seafood restaurant,
Right.
you have no alternative, but some items have to be, right?
Yeah. It's,
you're always wondering if you're on the receiving end of the check. Like, what market did you buy this at?
well, it's one of those things like people. It's hard for consumers to understand sometimes, right? Like if like you said, people are charging $48 for oysters a lot of places now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, if we pay a lot, we pay a premium for our oysters. There are oyster alternatives out there that cost $3.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
to-
actually paying, like those
So
West
it's like-
Coast oysters
yeah, like
between the
it
shipping
gets
charges
crazy.
and all that. Yeah.
So we have a great relationship. We buy directly from Island Creek, and we have some great suppliers that we're able to find like the sweet spot. But the funniest thing is when people come in and like Like, what, you don't have dollar oysters? I'm like, they cost me more than $1. Do you want me to? How about I just give you a quarter to go away for each oyster?
Well,
you eat?
There you go.
Because that's what it's going to cost.
The challenge is people who are not as in tune to sourcing and things like that.
Yeah.
They ask for dollar oysters because they're used to the Gulf oysters coming out of
Yeah.
Louisiana or
True,
That's not the same
Texas.
thing as Prince Edward Island.
And
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference, right?
And-
And that's true. You're right. I think that's what people get. They lose the connection to like quality and
Right.
and
well,
and cheap.
80% of people don't even know what
They
they're
don't care.
putting in their mouths.
Yeah,
they
they don't
just care about price.
Right.
And look, not every place is for everybody. You guys here are more about quality ingredients, getting great source stuff.
Right.
And for those who are discerning,
Yeah,
it's definitely worth the price. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
I think we're very fair in our pricing for what we're
yes, you
what we're
are.
getting.
Especially during the happy hours.
Yeah,
I mean, you
the-
can't beat
the
that.
value days are no brainers.
$20 for that
And
dish is
$19.99.
even if you only got one.
This is, I think, the
yeah,
new
exactly.
That's
sleeper.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, for those who are tightening belts, you can come out here and get, stuff yourself silly
Well,
on these mussels, and
I'm-
it's delicious.
I'm sure you learned in your London School of Economics that there's lost leaders sometimes, and
Yes.
and this is one of them on Mondays. It's
Yeah.
actually a very busy day for us because the special exists, and it's
Yeah, great stuff.
But
it's been a
then
day like
you
throughout
come
the
in-
summer that,
You know what?
keeps
And
us
it
going.
can be very filling, actually.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's
No, but
surprising.
then-
the broth and the
What-
and
yeah.
the bread. Then
when you have the
Yeah.
broth
Keep
and it
eating the bread,
has
kid.
the broth with a little bit
but
of
you
a
need the
kick.
bread for the broth.
You need
yeah.
another slice here.
Yeah, no,
you
but
gotta get
the
both.
broth and has a little kick that makes you
Yeah.
thirsty, and then you're
That's
gonna
it.
have one
That's
of
it.
those great. What are you drinking today, Lubie? It's
Papa loves blonde.
and what
I
is
love
in
it, 'cause
that?
year round they change the fruit.
We do, yeah.
Is it soursop now? I don't
It
know.
is, yeah. So it's called
Wow.
guanabana.
Well, because usually
Yeah.
around the year, my two favorite ones are when they do watermelon,
Yeah,
and right before that is usually soursop.
yeah.
or
We kind of go back
pineapple.
and forth.
Did you
between
pick
those two.
that up on your own, or did you ask Andrew?
No. Well, you got it from me. I just remember around this time of year is when they're doing soursop.
No,
Yeah.
I meant you tasted. Your palate is
no,
so
I-
well trained that you know
Well,
that
from
it's
this
sour.
drink, yeah, for sure. I
Oh,
love
wow.
this drink. It's
Now
my-
he knows soursop anywhere he
I've
tries
never
it.
had it in my life anywhere else, but
Yeah.
here when they do the Papa Loves Blonde soursop, it's
Yeah.
freaking great.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's like refreshing. Like
Yes.
I never understood getting an alcoholic because even pina colada, I never thought of it as refreshing. It's
Right.
sweet, it's heavy.
Right.
Like these drinks are actually refreshing.
Refreshing, yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
really nice.
So,
that's it.
and what is soursop? It comes from the Caribbean.
Yeah,
it's like a fruit.
Caribbean fruit. It's called guanabana.
Yeah.
So it's got like the flesh is kind of coconutty looking. It has just like those tropical floral
Nice
notes.
tropical fruit. So, is it
Yeah.
related to a mango, like in the mango?
No,
type
I don't
family?
think
I'm
so.
just-
No, it's not really to
More
mango.
tart.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
should know these things because I used to be a food writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
okay.
Well, you
but
don't. I mean, it's uncommon in
Right.
in Florida. for
I got to
sure.
bone up
If
on
you-
my Caribbean fruits.
The
and
only
melons.
place you're going to see it in the country is probably Florida, but it's not.
Yes.
It's still not very common.
Oh, you know where I saw it? Remember Cleveland's ice cream parlor out in Miramar, Lubie? He
Yes,
has a
yes.
soursop ice cream
He's an
flavor
island guy.
Really?
because he has a lot of different.
He's very
It's pretty
island.
cool.
He does a lot of different
Should
island
do a little
flavors.
scuba of it on the mojito.
Yep.
Yeah, go. Yeah, you got to check it out someday because they
Yeah.
have some really good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for our second break.
They're beautiful.
And we haven't even gotten into, that you have things like
It's
burgers.
really
What a great
Right.
burger
For
for
a
those
seafood fish place,
yeah,
their
who are-
burger's fantastic.
people who
I
are.
like to think it's good for all places, but
Just in general. No, in general. It's
Not-
a great burger, but
but
I'm
yes.
saying like people
Yeah,
come
it
here
is
and you
funny,
do a
yeah.
really good job with
we do,
seafood
and we
fish.
sell a lot.
You
Yeah.
getting a burger here, you'll feel like
Well,
you'll be happy to get a
I'll
burger.
dive into that after these words on the Lunchbox. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed for the finest poultry and the freshest fish. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat. All right, we're back at Even Keel Fish Shack, Lauderdale by the Sea with Dave Mack. And we were talking during the break. First of all, food, again, props to you, because whether it's, the fish and chips, which I hate when people say, oh, it's the best, this, because there's hundreds of places that have a particular item. But
The best
in this
cup of coffee in
case,
the world.
It's our favorite.
in this, now, usually I say my preferred nomenclature is my favorite.
My favorite,
But
yeah.
I'm going to make an exception. In the case of the fish and chips, Even Keel Fish Shack has the best fish and chips. It is
in the world.
in that I've tasted in my palate in South Florida.
You're gonna get it.
I haven't tasted. You're right. Thank you for hoisting me on my own petard. But
Did you remember that from Coming to America? Did
Yeah.
you see that part? What is, they got the best cup of coffee in the
right
world.
in the world,
And he
right.
goes, congratulations.
Great movie.
You did
Good
it.
good line. Yes. So because you use the fresh caught local mahi, that you were saying it makes
Yeah.
all the difference,
Yeah,
right?
just, a fresh fish in general for something like that is a must. We like that because it's got a lower water content than if you use a frozen whitefish from the Northeast, which I've had it in the Northeast when it's fresh and it's really good. you freeze it, the water content kind of gets a little exponential at that point,
Right.
and it just gets that's why you have a soggy fish.
And you know what? I
This
mean,
has been sitting here, still got some crunch.
I've
on it.
had
You can
them-
see it's
He's
crunchy.
right. It
still.
always gets the bottom. It's always
Yeah,
a little soggy.
I've had them at different, pubs, and we had one earlier this week.
was
That
good.
new Blackjack's Grill and Rum Bar out in the Davie. They're doing a really nice job, and they're using also like a
Like a high level
local
fish.
fish,
Yeah.
a snapper, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
But I gotta put my critic and objective hat on. Your coating, the batter
Yeah.
is just the most superb. It's so crunchy and it's
Yeah.
good. The beer batter. What kind of beer do you use?
We use Narragansett.
Narragansett.
Yeah.
Rhode Island's finest.
The Jaws beer.
And again, for the landlubbers out there, it's the burger.
The burger,
And you're mindful of having some good products for
Yeah.
those who can't or don't eat seafood, right?
Well, yeah, we were joking. Lubie was saying it's good for a seafood place. I like to think it's good for all places.
It's good.
No,
for
no, I was just
Yeah.
saying online.
I-
Someone's like, "What is that sandwich?" I'm like, "A double smash burger."
Yeah.
One of my favorite burgers in town. Like, you guys do a ridiculous
That's
burger.
when we decided to put a burger on the menu. We did
Said, do it right.
we did a tasting. of some
Subtly
different-
flavored with the grilled onions.
Yeah,
too.
so we do.
What's on it again? The cheese is
Cheese. Yeah, we do a white cheddar. We have Benton's bacon, which is in
Benton's is
Yes.
such a good
Madison-
product from
yeah.
Tennyson.
That was
Yeah,
just real
Tennessee.
stuff here. Yeah.
And a kind of special sauce that
Yeah, it's
maybe you're familiar.
fancy sauce.
For people who buy the
It's,
Big Macs might familiar. It's a good
It's a
creamy.
ketchup. It's a ketchup and horseradish aioli mix that we do.
Oh, that's
Put
It's
a little
great.
chopped pickles
It's
in
a
it, so
great
it's-
burger. I
Very
almost.
flavorful. Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what
we're-
I'm going to do today? Defo, Lubie, I just got even more great news. I did my blood work. I've been on a kind of health kick regimen that I'm going to continue. I've dropped some pounds. I'm shooting up the Ozempic. I'm doing things the right
Shoot
way. But, the biggest overriding concern was my cholesterol levels and the triglycerides and my A1C because I'm all full-blown diabetes. This morning, I know you're thrilled by this, but this is the
Yeah.
Mayo Clinic portion of the Lunchbox.
Mayo Clinic.
But in just 3 months, my triglycerides went from 200 to
Okay.
140. And
Wow.
140
That's pretty good.
is within the
Yeah, that's
normal range. And I just got the numbers. I found the test just came in as we were on last break. My A1C number, now anything over 6.5 is considered diabetic.
Yeah.
Anything less is considered okay. I was at 7.3 in January. Defo, you want to take a gander of what my A1C is right now?
Don't even want to begin to guess.
6.3. I
Wow.
dropped a full point, and I am
Sounds good.
no longer in the diabetes
The threat-
zone.
the
I'm
threat
down
zone.
below.
Yeah.
So I know this is thrilling news to everybody, but in honor of that, I am going
Oh,
to
you're gonna have
Big
Big
Bite this burger
Oh, Jesus. I don't think
Yeah.
Dave's ever seen your Big Bite.
because I've been putting the Big Bite has been on hiatus under doctor's orders, but I think today, as a
Celebration.
special treat, we're going to down this sucker because it is delicious. Here we go.
That's a good bite.
Oh my God, you did the whole thing.
I didn't think he was going to be able to do it.
You did the whole thing. Oh my God. Here's something. I think we're gonna take our last break. We're here at Even Kill Fish Shack here, Larder by the Sea, with one and only Dave. More on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox from Even Kill Fish Shack, Larder by the Sea. After this.
When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner, reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, It's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. A couple of points of order before we get out of here. Friend of mine, Kip Hunter, longtime PR person around town. She's and her husband, Joey, are going to our Joey at Cafe Seville for the first time tonight. I just set up a reservation for her, and she's asking, what should I order?
Oh, no.
And the answer is just look at the whiteboard.
Yeah.
And
You're not going to order for him, are you?
No, well, I'm going to tell her, get
Right.
a nice piece of fish,
Any piece of
something
fish,
with the
yeah.
Costa Brava
See, I would
sauce.
I would tell them if it's your first time, because we didn't do wrong. You can't do wrong there, but you can do. There are things that they just do like you've never had anywhere. The shrimp.
The shrimp
appetizer,
Mayo, yeah.
you have to get that. If you've never been there, I would get that as an
and the
app.
octopus El Pupo Santa Fe.
I haven't had that, but Santa Fe, something with Santa Fe.
Anything.
So if
with
it's
that.
octopus, that's fine too.
Santa Fe,
And on a
shrimp
main
al
course,
ajillo,
You could have
either-
matzo Santa Fe.
And
We
then
have yet to try your
Cala Milanese or
Grouper
Costa Brava.
See, if they have the Branzino franchise still, or whatever
That's
was
good.
franchise,
Yeah, they
that
have a
was utterly
franchise.
ridiculous. We haven't had it yet, but looking at it, I believe what you said is right. The thing, the
Well,
stuff.
the stuffed veal chop is unbelievable.
That's the
But
other
that's
thing
if
that
you-
looks
if-
nuts.
That's if you just get good bud work news like me, but otherwise, stick with the fish.
Well, you
and
can
you'll
share
be-
though. What's good about that place is like
Yeah,
it's another one of places I would get a multiple
Well, it's
dishes
just
because you
two
want
of
to
them.
try different
I'm going
stuff.
to tell
like-
them to get 2 apps and 1 fish dish, and that'll be good. Unless they want to go veal, but those are my recommendations. There. All right, a couple of quick notes about some of our great premier sponsors. Casa D'Angelo, 3 locations, but 2 of them are having these wine dinners with legendary figure Dan Marino. And talk about 2 legends, Angelo Elia and Dan Marino together. It's a passing time wine dinner. I don't think they're going to be passing time with Tyreek Hill. He's not going to be on the receiving
Well, we
end.
already had another thing.
Damon Heward is the winemaker along with Dan Marino. They started up a winery in Washington State, and basically they're going to be showing off their good, fine wines along with some of the great food at Casa D'Angelo. It's coming up on April 22nd, Tuesday night, and April 23rd, Wednesday night at their Aventura and Fort Lauderdale locations. Go online to casa-d-angelo.com to sign up for that dinner, or go into Casa D'Angelo any night for the most exquisite Italian cuisine. Then, of course, we've got Tropical Acres, where I will be tonight, making an appearance at 5 o'clock at the bar. I might even suck down a martini during happy hour.
There you go.
Belvedere martini, $8, and some of the great deals you get there. I'm meeting a cousin of mine from New York. He's going to meet Val, and then me and my cousin are going to go to the Hard Rock and play a nice little poker tournament. But Tropical Acres, you want to get in there. They're open usually Monday through Saturday, but they're also going to be open on a couple of upcoming holiday Sundays, Easter Sunday, April 20th, and Mother's Day, May 11th. They will be open 1 to 8 p.m. Make a reservation today. The only way to make a reservation at Tropical Acres is by telephone 954-989-2500. 954-989-2500. And our friends at Batch, if you're into the Kentucky Derby like we are, they have derby parties at all their locations, West Palm Beach, Delray, and Fort Lauderdale, and they have giveaways. They'll be having derby hat contests, all that kind of stuff. Batch, we love them. They are the masters of hospitality. Of course, Kevin and Brandon, they do such a great job. All right, that's going to do it for today. You got trivia tonight, right?
I do.
Still going strong at
6:30.
Landlubbers?
Yeah, we have a nice crowd. We always have a good time.
Plantation, is that the
Plantation. It's Sunrise Boulevard, Pine Island, and Sunrise Plantation Board.
6 o'clock? The Professor and you.
Yes, sir.
Bring your music knowledge along with your useless knowledge of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, of anything. Yeah.
It is a fun time. Me and Val got to get back there. We had a blast the
We'd
one
love to
time
have
we
you.
came out there.
Always a good time.
And you know me, though. I'm very competitive. And if I start losing, I get all whiny and
I'm
stuff.
aware.
So that's it. All right, Defo, we'll see you tomorrow at Gulfstream. 10 Palms. Keeneland is going.
Nice.
And good luck with all your Masters picks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make sure not to piss off Raymond Floyd anymore. Thanks to Dave Mack. Brad, come on out to Even Keel Fish Shack sometime soon. And until tomorrow, enjoy every fish and chip, every mussel, and every sandwich.